Good evening, dosto. Welcome you all in my channel. And today we are going to be discuss the second point under the secondary trading essential skills for a business analyst. If I talk as per my experience, a business analyst is the person who has a combination of the skills. I can say he cannot be a master of everything, but he can be um, kind of jack of all trade but master of none. But at last, in the industry nowadays, we are seeing a practice that at least a business analyst should be a part or be good in the one of the skill. It can be a possibly industry is checking for the business skills that yes, business knowledge should be there for a business analyst. Other than that, you have the behavior skills, you have the problem solving techniques or the problem solving techniques, other skills as well into the as a business analyst. So in today's session, we're going to be discuss about these six major categories and what are the skills available under that categories to become a good business analyst. You can share your feedback, you can share your comments on the on LinkedIn and on my LinkedIn connection, or you can share in the comment section as well. Stay tuned, subscribe my channel, and you can be forward this channel details to your friends as well, so that they also can get benefited. And moreover, the discussion which we are going to be happen for the next 40 days for the business analyst is purely on my experience as well, that because from the last few years I'm working as a business analyst, I see that how the business analyst role is improving from day by day into the industry, and why people actually need, why industry actually need, why companies actually need the business analyst on the place. So as you can see on my screen, that on the first major category is called the analytical thinking and problem solving, behavior characteristics, business knowledge, communication skill, and interaction skills. Finally, tools and technologies. So if you talk about me, I'm not a developer. The very simple say, I'm in the industry from last 12 years, but I'm not a developer. Then what I'm doing basically, so I'm working as a techno functional consultant, where I'm getting the requirements from the customers and filling and preparing the documentation part, and then handing over to my technical team or the development team. But to do this work as well, we need some skill set, we need some base to be become like a business analyst. So if I talk about the first major component, that is called the analytical thinking and the problem solving. In this basically I will involve the six major things: creative thinking, decision making, learning, problem solving, system thinking, conceptual thinking, and visual thinking. My motto is not to be go through the slides. My motto is to be tell you the actual facts into this particular skill set basically. So creative thinking, whenever you go to the client to understand the requirement, don't think just from that point of view, or the for just a period of 1 year or 2 years basically. Being a business analyst, you need to be think at least for to the next 4 to 5 years, as the customer is going to be take your tool or the product or the technology they are becoming at point of time. So being a creative thinker, you have to be tell the best and optimized way to use that particular platform or use that particular tool basically. So if I say that the Amazon site which we are using approximately 3 to 4 years back is not no longer is the same as we are doing at point of time. So the person who is sitting as a business analyst in the Amazon is with a creative thinker. He always say that how with the minimum clicks a user can get the things to be done. So creative thinking includes can be from the UI UX perspective, number one. Here UI UX means the front end which we are going to be, which is available for the customer or the user basically. Nowadays, if I talk my experience, basically I can say that 60 to 70% re-efforts has to be done, because the customer is not happy with the front end UI or UI UX part basically. So being a business analyst, it is your responsibility to think creative, so that customer can be get confidence on you, and can we give the more clear requirements on that part. Decision making, sometimes it happens that you have to take a decision on the spot, either say yes, either say no. But again, from my personal experience, I can say sometimes a business analyst cannot be a technical person as well. I'm not 100% technical. If you say that, Atul, can you write a code for me, I cannot write a code, but yes, I can say that this can be the logic possible in that particular site. So you have to take a decision. Decision making means you can say yes boss, yes to your customers or your development team, yes, this can be done by this one, or means you should be accountable for the same at point of time. Learning, third one is learning basically. If I say that I'm having a 12-year experience in my life at point of time, I don't want to learn anything new, I'm very much wrong. because learning is the one of the skill which is be required to be required to move forward day in day out. Every time you have to be, so sometime when I am sitting with my kid and teaching him something new, I get something new learning as well. So nowadays he's just putting some pictures mixing as a new game. So I'm also thinking that how I can be tell him that how he can be learn this picture making or the picture matching basically. The next one, there is a problem solving. Definitely problem solving is the one of the skill set which every company need at point of time. In their job descriptions they mention that a person should be problem solver. It means business analyst should not be always problem solver or the problem raiser. He always be there with the problem solution. Sometimes being a business analyst you have to be tell to customer, may not, I'm not sure that this can be done or not. Let me or give me some time, let me check at my backend, maybe development team, maybe my technical experts, and come back to you on the same part. System thinking, that how this thing can be defined into the system, the best logics you can put on that part. Conceptual thinking. So for a business analyst, when you are start getting the requirement, never stop your thinking on a one place that okay, this can be done or not. You have to think from the 360-degree. It means that you have to think that this can be practical or not. That is a later on part, but how this can be implemented. Suppose my customer say that Atul, I want to go on the moon. I start doing the conceptual thinking. Okay, he want to go on the moon. Maybe he needs some house. Maybe he needs some home. He needs some garage. He needs some swimming pool as well. So I'm putting some conceptual thinking that how this thing can be done. Maybe at the last we say, boss, it cannot be possible to be implement this go to the moon by my tool or my technology cannot be done. But yes, you have to be think about the for the same. Last one, that is a visual thinking. You have to be visualize. You have to put some pictures on the place. You have to put some I can say some graphs or some pictorial representation, process flows basically you have to put so that you can understand the things basically on that part. So these 6 to 7 types under the we putting into the analytical thinking and the problem solving. Next is the behavior. Sometimes what happens that when you start gathering a requirement from the customer and you become very familiar with the customer, it's like you start doing the brotherhood kind of thing, but it is not a right way to, it is not a right practice or right skill for a business analyst. You are working for an X company but you have a customer for the Y company, so you have to be strict on your ethics. Which is wrong, it is be wrong. If there's an escalation from customer end, you have to be raise that part. If there's escalation on your end, you have to set that part. Personal accountability. If someone says that okay, in my project Atul was the BA and he took the requirement and finally head over to development team, and at last you say, boss, I'm not accountable. No, that is very much wrong. You have to be personal accountable, that yes, I am the BA for that particular project, I am the BA for that particular requirement gathering, so I have to be responsible for the same. Trustworthiness. Don't pass your information from here and there. Don't do, if I go by in a simple word, don't go, do the kind of backbiting into the customer and the company. And sometimes you become very familiar to the customers, you do the backbiting of the customer, and sometimes you do the backbiting to the company end as well. Organization, the time management. Being a BI, it is your responsibility that you get all the requirements on time. And finally, adaptability. If something new approach is coming, or maybe customer want to be start the project with something new way, to have to be adapt. You have the nature to be adapt the things. Maybe initially you face some issues to adapt the new technologies or the new techniques, but at last you will, when you start working, you will get in the pros and cons. Then you can suggest your things and go to the customer back or the company back that, boss, this is not the right way. We have to be adapt, but in this way. Like nowadays company adapting agile, they know that we are not 100% agile, but still they are adapting because they know that sooner or later we become the agile. Today they are starting maybe the hybrid combination, but tomorrow they will be the pure agile way they are going to be work. Third section is basically business knowledge. So business knowledge is basically you should know that what industry you're working. If I say that I'm working in the telecom industry, so I should know that how the telecom work. Basically, what is the meaning of the call here, debit, credit rates, pulse rates, seconds, charges, STD, ISD. So these things I need to be understand so that I can provide my solution according to that part only. Industry knowledge, that is again the same thing kind of. Organization knowledge, for the company you're working or for the client you're working, you should know that how they gone basically and what their vision for the next coming few to 4 to 5 years basically. Only then in that case you can put your expertise in that area. Solution knowledge. Blindly say yes, this can be done is a very wrong skill set or the skill a BA has. To give any solution, you should know that okay, how this can be done in my tool. So suppose if I'm working the service now, so I can say yes, by this manner, XYZ manner, this can be done into my into my tool. But if I don't know any about service now, or maybe remedy, or maybe CA, or maybe other tools, service tool, any other tool, I should not be conclude everything on the same place. I have to be get some time and come back to with the solutions with the to the my customers. And finally, it starts with methodology knowledge. You should know the methods. It's been basically you are using the waterfall, agile, or kanban, or maybe the mixture of everything you are using. You should know the methodology and the practices for that particular same. The next one, that is a communication skill. So communication is the one which is very much important for the for a BA. If you can communicate well, you are a good BA, and sometimes your communication skills hide your other skills as well, which is where you are not as much good. So considering that to whom you are going to be talk and what you want to be talk to them. So I go to these points one by one. Consider what are the receiver knows and does not know. So if today it's your first day into the customer, and you are going to be start the requirement gathering, say service is a good tool, it's ITSM tool, etc, 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 but customer don't know about the service now. Then it is your responsibility to tell them, okay, this is the service now tool, and you purchase this tool, and how this tool is going to work for this for you. Structure the information in logical and comprehensible manner. It means it should be like a proper manner. Okay, start, then introduction, then you have the main agenda, main core body, then you have to be summarize, and finally ending the things. Determine how the best present information convey. So sorry, determine how to best present the information to convey the intent meaning. It can be your graphs, it can be pictures, it can be a process flows, it can be a visual diagrams, anything you can put it. Understand the expectation from the represent, what they want to know from your end. That is very much important. Maybe the customer just want to discuss the business requirement, they're not interested in technical knowledge. So you also know this thing, only then you can be start working. And finally, we can be, as we're dividing this, verbal communication, non-verbal communication, written, and finally listening is one of the important communication skill. So next one, that is the interaction skill. How you interact with the customers. That is very much important. And not your customers, basically how you interact with teammates as well. Sometime when you enter into your bay, in your cubicle, and you smile, people smile by seeing you. They see a charm on their faces when they discuss or they say greet to you. So basically here we can discuss that how you are be interacting with this with your customers or the company or the teammates as well. Felicitation. Suppose I'm in a habit, whenever I start an email, I always write good morning, good afternoon, greetings for the day, hope you're doing well, all these things. These are the felicitation which is be good for the customer, and maybe it is like a bother, it is like a overhead for them, but still I think that felicitation is good for me. Leadership and influencing. Sometimes what happened that I'll putting this point number 2 and 4 together now. Sometime maybe you're in the workshop now, you're getting the requirement from the customer, and there is a conflict between two of the leaders in the conference room. One say yes, this requirement is valid, so other say no, this requirement is not valid. In that case, you have to be put your skills under the same, and you have to be influenced to both of the members and get the resolution conflict. I know maybe some of you say that Atul, conflict resolution is not that much easy. I agree on that part. It is not that much easy, but still, being a beer, it is you to be develop that skill so that you can do the conflict resolution. It happens a number of times with the BM. Every time when you go for the requirement gathering, and you have a technical person even in with you in that gathering workshop gathering things, maybe sometime your and your technical person be a conflict in some situation. So you have to be think that how this conflict resolution can be taken care. And finally, tools and the technologies. Definitely, you should know that how you can be use the tools and the technologies. So if I say right that you should know that how the present PPTs can be done, how the Excel can be make, how the modeling can be done, diagramming, documenting, how the documentation can be done, how you analyze and mapping the requirement. It means that suppose I have the 50 requirements, so you have to be, being a BA, I have to be divide that 50 requirements into the different section. It can be functional, it can be software, it can be hardware. Identify relationship between the requirement, that is any requirement number one it depend on number two, and number two depend number three depend number four as well. Tracking and storing the requirement artifacts. The requirements artifact means the things which are getting from the customer as a base, as a proof, as a baseline, as a concept, as a document. You should be track and store somewhere, so that in the future if something goes wrong or you need to be revalidate your requirement, you can go back and do that part. Communicating with the stakeholders is very much important. Finally, finally, communication tools and the technology. Skype, email, brainstorming tools, calendar. You can put all these things into the place, and you can be discuss the things with the customer. So now this is our second day session on the essential skills for the business analyst. I'm stopping myself here. If you have any question or some you need some clarification and you want to be share your experience, please share in the comment section. You can share your feedback with me on that part. And thank you so much for your support and for your support and the efforts you're putting to listen my video. Hope we'll meet soon tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow. I'm uploading a third video. Thank you so much, guys.